I'm back. It's been, oh golly, 2.5 months since I recorded some poetry. This is what I used to call Facebook Love, but now I say poems from me to you. And this is number 327. I was away for a few months doing some writing. I was away from home, and I kept promising myself I would record while I was away, and I just never did it. But I've been back most of November, and I'm ready to resume. I have a couple well-known poems to me. One is Mary Oliver, one of my mainstays, and the other one is by Marge Piercy, who some know and some don't, but she's one of my favorites. I've followed her for decades. So these are both speaking to me after my time away from home and pulling together a new way of being creatively. So first, The Journey by Mary Oliver. One day you finally knew what you had to do and began. Though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles. Mend my life, each voice cried. But you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do, though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough and a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice, which you slowly recognized as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save. The Journey by Mary Oliver. The second one is titled To Be of Use by Marge Piercy. I read this poem first probably in college or shortly after, in the late 80s, early 90s. And I thought I completely understood it then. And I thought that the reason for my life was to be of use. I think what being of use has changed to me. And I think the motto of my life has evolved to include that. But it's not only that. So if you've never read Marge Piercy, she's quite famous as a novelist, but I really enjoy her poetry a lot, especially because she really likes cats and writes very funny, pointy things about the relationship with cats. So if you look her up, you'll find some of those as well. But this one is more serious. To Be of Use by Marge Piercy. The people I love the best jump into work head first, without dallying in the shallows, and swim off with sure strokes almost out of sight. They seem to become natives of that element, the black, sleek heads of seals bouncing like half-submerged balls. I love people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the mud and the muck to move things forward, who do what has to be done again and again. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along, who are not parlor generals and field deserters, but move in a common rhythm, when the food must come in or the fire be put out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing well done has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn, are put in museums. But you know they were made to be used. The pitcher cries for water to carry, and a person for work that is real. To Be of Use by Marge Piercy. While I was away, I was working on my second book, and of course I thought that I would write a chapter every single week and do my research and be fully immersed in that work. And what I figured out is that I could not write from an empty well. And so I published 5 drafts of chapters, and I did lots and lots of research, which I'm still working through. And the work feels worthy. It feels like what I'm supposed to do. While I was there, I also did some singing. I did a lot of walking. I wrote some really terrible poems and some really good poems, some of which I might be brave enough to share someday. They're much more personal than most of my work, so it might take some time. In the meantime, I will keep reading to you and sharing. Please visit me on YouTube as well. This will be up on YouTube at some point today. And that's it. Poems from Me to You, number 327, formerly Facebook Love. I'm glad to see you, and I'll see you again.